So we will start first by, opening the stage for all the lecturers that gave. And please feel free to ask whatever you want if you didn't have time to do it during lunch, because I saw many people talk to each other. But I think the questions could be of interest to the whole audience. So please, all the lecturers are here, and we'll take a short time for enabling some questions. So who is the first? Jonathan, I knew. Okay.
So I have a question. I actually had questions for all the speakers, but there was no time allotted. So could I ask just a couple of quick questions for you?
Whatever you think. Take the stage.
So the first speaker gave a really interesting lecture about the importance of the Dead Sea with regard to health. I don't know if he's still here.
He's not, but yeah.
Oh, okay. So the question that was coming up in my mind when he was talking about the effects of health on the Dead Sea was the placebo effect, right? That there is always this issue with regard to when it comes to health issues, especially that you have a 30% or 33% placebo effect, and you're bringing people into a very interesting new environment, and there's lots of psychological effects of bringing them here, and we're convincing them that by putting them at 400 meters below sea level, oh my God, it's going to help them. And how are you eliminating just the placebo effect when you're looking at these things?
First, let me clarify that I'm not part of most of his research. We are talking with a guy that is really very impressive and has done sort of individually follow-up of patients for 30 years now. So that's very impressive. Having said that, I would say that the placebo effect is difficult to rule out. So in principle, you're right that that's an issue. However, there are instances, I think, some of the diseases where you get a dramatic response. Say vitiligo, say atopic dermatitis, say psoriasis, obviously that has been well documented before. So I think there are some of the diseases where it's very clearly at least impressive from a point of physician, let's say. But the placebo effect is definitely an issue.
Before you go on, if I may add, I think, again, I'm repeating the goal of this meeting and I appreciate, there is a very good thing that we are not too many and we can discuss. But one remark, I think, on all, like the presentation that he gave, and we were looking that there is not enough publication, there is not enough, even knowledge about all this. And that's what I'm encouraging you to take part and maybe do more. Yes. Second.
My second question is, so for the last speaker, I just had a question who was talking, I'm sorry, was it the last speaker? The speaker number 5, it was the one who was talking about the effects of the, it was your question, I guess you can. No, the Dead Sea? The Dead Sea, it was you. Yes. I had a question about the effects of the, why there's pain. When you go into the water, if you have any cut or any damage to your skin, there's pain associated with this, right? And does that have anything to do with the endorphins that are being released? And is it really the water? I mean, what's the effect of the water versus the pain, et cetera?
So it's all a question of concentration. If you go to the Dead Sea, 100% Dead Sea water, and you have cut, you will feel it. You can trust me and not experience it, or experience and feel the pain. What we have shown is very, very reduced concentration of 1%, 0.5 of minerals when applied topically on healthy skin, not on cut. And then we analyzed and we found that beta endorphin is released, and beta endorphin is happiness, but it's also balancing, and etc.
So there's also this issue about soap. because people have this weird idea they use soap. I mean, not weird, people use soap all the time. And soap actually, as you use SDS as your control, is really damaging to the skin. But at the same time, it changes the whole skin microbiome because you kill a lot of microbes by using soap. So I was kind of curious in your control experiments how you sort of deal with the fact that people chronically and routinely use soaps with SDS in them, right?
Well, soaps are important for some cleansing reasons, but of course, what we have done, 10% SDS is really irritating anyhow. I mean, it's just to force the skin to have all the irritation respond, and then you check different actives like the Dead Sea minerals and some others and see if you can attenuate the irritating effect of the SDS. Of course, I'm not against soaps, but usually not 10% of SDS. It's very, very strong.
You know, I don't want to go on.
Okay, so are there any others? No, we don't have. We start the panel in 5 minutes. So, anybody?
Hi, I want to react to the soap business. I'm a microbiologist. No, soap isn't as bad as one may think. First of all, because bacteria on the skin are not just sitting there, they're in biofilms, and they're quite resistant to soap. And the other thing is, if you use soap all the time, then your microbiome is composed of bacteria that are relatively resistant to soap. And I will tell you one experiment that I used to have in our micro lab, but we stopped it because we thought the conclusions may be misleading. And that is where we had students touch a petri dish with agar that bacteria could grow in, and then go wash their hands and touch again the plate. And where do you think they got more bacteria? After washing their hands. The reason is because there's a lot of lipids and oils on the skin, and the soap removes them so the bacteria can grow. The conclusions can be misleading, so we don't have this experiment anymore. But anyway, you can wash your hands safely and your body as well.
Don't take showers. Go out all the time.
Okay, any other questions?